Our guest this month on the podcast is Jasmine Bryson. She is a senior at Texas State, and that is crazy to me. She is an East Texan. I first saw her speak as an MC at the Say What Summer Conference. She has been a team ambassador and been very active in getting the message out about tobacco prevention to the youth of Texas, and she has been a consultant as well. Jasmine, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I can't complain. You're making me feel like an old man because I remember I could have sworn it was longer, but I guess you've been so studious. You've been advancing over there at Texas State. How you like being a Bobcat over there?
I love it. The campus is beautiful. The people are so kind. I love Texas State. I made a great choice by going there.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll talk a little bit in a second. The main reason we wanted to have Jasmine on is talk about the youth perspective and talk about the attacks of the big tobacco companies on the African American population. And she knows a lot about that from her youth work with Say What. But first off, tell us your background, how you started in tobacco prevention.
Well, I started in tobacco prevention when I was in the seventh grade, I believe. Yes, in the seventh grade. And I just looked at the people around me. I have a few family members that use tobacco products. I know as I got older, like I watched some of my friends get hooked onto tobacco products. And I realized that all of the horrible effects that tobacco has on your body and how secondhand smoke and other things can affect the people around you. And I just got really sad and I wanted people to learn more about the effects of it so they can live a healthy lifestyle and just live longer.
So your mom was your sponsor in high school, and coming up in a couple of months, we won't have the summer conference, so it's going to be weird not seeing her because. So one, tell her hi for me because I miss seeing her. But just what did she mean to you being your sponsor, but also had to be a good motivation for you to spread out that tobacco free and healthy lifestyle message.
Well, that really helped out because, me as a young person, as a student, like as just growing up in general, we all like we grow up and we find out what we're passionate about. And I think that it's really cool that my mom shares the same passion as me. So, of course, she will support me in whatever I do, but I think that it's really good because we got to support each other because we are both really passionate and we cared a lot about tobacco prevention. So I thought that it was really, really good. She played a major role in me developing as an advocate and just the person as a person in general. So her having her as a sponsor and a mom really is just like it was amazing. It helped me grow more than I would if she was just a parent or just a sponsor. It's like I got the best of both worlds.
So be honest now. There was never like a moment you said, "Ma, come on, you're embarrassing me," or don't say that in front of everybody else. Or was she pretty cool about separating the two?
Well, you know how parents get sometimes, but it's okay. Like I realized just like it's really cool having her as a sponsor, you have to the pros outweighs the cons. I love my mother and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes, ma'am. And you've got a great mom in that, I know. So tell us about with in the background of it, because I didn't explain everything setting this up, is that with Black History Month, we wanted to do something to recognize how, and most people probably know this already, but we don't want to assume everybody knows it, how the big tobacco companies really target each race in specific ways. So tell us what you learned because for those also that don't know, I mean, you did a lot of research, a lot of presentations about the tobacco industry. So how does that make you feel that there are specific targeted attacks on not only Black people, but Black young people?
It really hurts me being a black young person myself, knowing that the tobacco industry is really targeting me and all of my friends. It really hurts my feelings and it kind of makes me angry. It makes me want to do more. It really drives my passion. It really, I don't want to say it motivates me because it's wrong, but it really makes me want to go out and do more and make people more aware, especially people in the black community because I'm a part of that community. And knowing, like I said, knowing that they're trying to target me and basically get us hooked and get me hooked, it really makes me angry. I just really want to do more, and it makes me just want to do more.
Mhm. So give us an example, and this might be going back even when you're in high school or early college, of something you would tell a friend about how they're targeting the Black community, or something you would want to say to someone, because I know you've done a lot of work in that field.
So in high school, well, actually, cigarettes are not really the most commonly used product by African American students, but the ones that do use cigarettes, 90% of African Americans use menthol products. And what I would tell them is like some of the dirty tricks that big tobacco uses to try to get us using cigarettes and menthol cigarettes in particularly, like in most African American communities, the menthol companies, they place some more storefront advertisements in our communities trying to get us to use menthol cigarettes. They kind of tagged menthol cigarettes with African Americans. So, because it's menthol makes it easier, the smoke go down your throat easier. So, that's what they're trying to do is make it easier for us to get hooked on tobacco products.
By all means, I don't want you to mention any names. You're not comfortable, of course, but have you seen this person? Because I know growing up in East Texas, I'm sure it's different than where you are now around San Marcos, or have you seen that even in college? You see those personal attacks, and then you see people use those products.
Yes, literally every African American person I know, I was thinking about it. Every black person I know you that smokes cigarettes smokes menthol. They either smoke the Cool brand, the Newport brand, they smoke menthol cigarettes. I was really trying to think about it, but I don't know any other black person that doesn't smoke that smokes cigarettes that doesn't use a menthol product, which is really
And it,
sad.
yeah, and it's really criminal, and it upsets me knowing that. I mean, this has been going on 40, 50 years, decades and decades. So, I mean, this might be an unanswerable. How do we change this? How do we get this going in a different? We have done progress. I'm not going to lie about that, but how do we keep doing better? I guess make progress.
Well, all I can really think of, like you said, this might can be unanswerable, but where we need to start is basically what we're doing now, educating people, making people more aware, not just of the harmful effects of cigarettes, because almost everyone knows that cigarettes are bad now and tobacco is bad. But I think the dirty tricks and the different marketing tactics that the big tobacco company use will really get people angry and make them feel manipulated. Like, hey, big tobacco is really targeting me and trying to use me to get addicted to their products. So maybe people, we need to educate more people not only on the harmful effects, but the different marketing tactics that big tobacco uses.
Have you noticed personally? This might be a social media or YouTube, and I don't know how all that works on the back end of things. But have you noticed personally, or and you stop and think, wait a second, they were targeting me because of the color of my skin?
Yes, I have. When I research stuff, I try to stay updated on things happening relating to tobacco prevention. And I was recently reading an article about how big tobacco targets African Americans, and I was really getting upset. Like I had to pause reading. I was like, I feel very offended right now. I had to
Mhm.
take a step back. I really got upset after reading the article.
Yeah, I don't know. I know me saying sorry doesn't help anything, but I just can't imagine feeling specifically targeted like that. But I know you're one of
Mhm.
the great ones. Keep getting that fight out. And what's your? I didn't ask. Should ask you this at the beginning. What's your major? What do you want to do after you're done in beautiful San Marcos?
Well, my major is exercise and sports science, and I'm hoping to go on and pursue a career as a physical therapist.
Nice. Well, I know you're going to be great at it. Thanks so much for joining us, and keep up that fight against those big tobacco companies. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, ma'am. That's Jasmine Bryson. She is a student at Texas State and has been big and instrumental in fighting against those big tobacco companies.